a husband who has neglected his family because of his work. That day, he was away from home on a company trip. I was at an amusement park at the request of my daughter, who was lonely. I witnessed a shocking scene at the amusement park. What? What is my husband doing here? I approached him as he was leaving and spoke to him from behind in a deliberately cheerful voice. Sounds like a fun company trip, doesn't it? My name is Nadia, 38 years old, a working housewife raising a 9-year-old daughter, Tiffany. I met my husband, Simon, at a blind date when I was single. After 2 years of dating, he proposed, and we got married. Soon after, I was pregnant with our daughter. After 11 years of marriage, it was gradually cooling down. Simon had recently received a promotion at his company, and his days were quite busy. He comes home late on weekdays and works on weekends and holidays. Sometimes he even stays overnight at the office. Even when he is home sometimes, he spends the entire time staring at his computer or cell phone. Conversations between us gradually declined, and our daughter, Tiffany, began to act distant from her father. If this situation continued, our family would fall apart. With this sense of crisis, I complained to Simon when he came home late. Hey, can't you stay home a little longer? I want you to spend more time with Tiffany. My husband's expression turned to annoyance.
I told you I'm busy with work, didn't I?
But I'm sure Tiffany misses you too. You're her father, aren't you?
Why don't you take care of Tiffany? Don't give me any more trouble.
Simon went off to his bedroom without taking me seriously. I was left alone with my head in my hands, wondering what to do. Then Tiffany drew a picture of our family at school. Tiffany and I holding hands in the middle. And in the corner is a small drawing of what appears to be my husband. Tiffany, why is Daddy so small? Because he's not always at home. I don't even remember what he looks like anymore. Tiffany tells me awkwardly. We can't go on like this. We have to get our family back together. I looked at Tiffany's picture and made up my mind to do so. I waited for Simon, who came home late that day. Hey, Simon, do you remember what day is next Saturday?
Huh? The week after next? What's that?
What is that? It's Tiffany's 9th birthday.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Of course, I remember though, right?
Simon tells me with an embarrassed look on his face that he probably forgot about it. It's just Saturday and Sunday. Let's go on a trip to celebrate Tiffany's birthday that day.
Huh? A trip?
Yes. Let's take Tiffany to the aquarium she's always wanted to go to. It's her birthday after all. My husband pondered something for a while, and then sighed as if he had given up on the idea.
All right. I'll go with you on that day.
Really? That's a promise. Don't ever make any plans. Simon nodded at me. I hope this trip will bring us back together as a family. That's what I thought. The next day, when I told Tiffany about our travel plans, her face lit up. A trip? Dad can go with us? Yes, he's coming with us. Are you happy? Yes, I'm so excited. I'm going to hold hands with Mom and Dad at the aquarium. Tiffany must have been feeling lonely for some reason. She was so happy to hear that her father will be with her. I smiled as I gazed at her happy face. Then came the day of the trip. Simon woke up in the morning, looked at his cell phone, and had an impatient look on his face. As we were getting ready to leave, he said to us,
I have to go to work today, so you two go on that trip.
What? What are you talking about? I looked at Tiffany impatiently. She looks like she's about to burst into tears. You must feel sorry for Tiffany. I asked you not to make plans today.
I can't cancel work. I don't have a choice, do I? I'm gonna go now.
After getting dressed, Simon didn't even listen to Tiffany's attempts to say anything. He quickly left the house. In the end, it was just me and Tiffany on the trip. Tiffany didn't talk much and didn't go to the aquarium, which she was looking forward to. I could see that Tiffany had become disappointed in her father. Instead of bringing us back together as a family, this trip only made the gap between us even wider. I sighed to myself. When we got back from the trip, I waited until Tiffany had gone to bed and questioned Simon. But he made excuses like,
I have no choice. I'm trying to support you guys.
And finally he got mad at me. After that, my husband was away from home every day. I spent more time with Tiffany, but my daughter acted as if she no longer had a father. I knew I had to do something. I thought to myself, I'd like to spend the next 3 weekends with the 3 of us. We could just stay at home or go shopping. Anyway, I thought that spending time with the 3 of us would make the current situation a little better. So, when Simon came home late at night, I made a serious appeal to him. Hey, Simon, you have to make up for what you did the other night. You're really going to ruin Tiffany's trust in you, and of course, my trust in you too.
You're overreacting.
You have the next 3 weekends, right? One of those days, you have to be with us this time. If you can't do that, then I'm afraid this family is finished.
Huh? Oh, I can't. I'm going on a company trip the next 3 weekends.
Huh? A company trip? I've never heard such a thing before.
It started this year. Anyway, I can't make the next weekend either. Well then, that's that.
Simon said that and went off to take a bath. I was left thinking. I thought that it might not be possible for me and Simon to be a family anymore. As the 3-day weekend was approaching, my husband made a rare appearance and said to me,
Hey, how are you guys doing on your 3-day weekend?
I don't know. Maybe I'll take Tiffany and go back to my parents' house.
Oh, well, have a safe trip.
Simon looked somewhat happy. I wondered why he was so happy and said, have fun on your trip, as if he was being sarcastic. The first day of the 3-day weekend arrived. How do you feel about going to Grandma and Grandpa's house? I asked Tiffany, and she said, Yes, I'd love to, but I have one favor to ask. What's that? I'd like to go to an amusement park with you sometime soon, Mommy. I heard your friend had a great time there. I hugged Tiffany as she fidgeted. Of course I want to go to the amusement park with you. Can we go during the holidays already? What? Can we? We can always go to Grandpa's house some other time. Let's enjoy the amusement park together. Thus, Tiffany and I decided to go to the amusement park on the following Sunday. The day of our outing, Tiffany and I headed to an amusement park a short distance away. Tiffany's excitement was high the whole time we were there, and she was enjoying the attractions one after another. I rode along with her and sometimes watched from afar as we enjoyed our time together. Eventually, Tiffany said she wanted to ride a roller coaster, but I'm not very good at roller coasters, so I decided to wait nearby. Then I looked around and saw an unbelievable sight. What? Simon, what are you doing here? A young woman and a boy of about 3 years old were holding hands next to my husband. Clearly not the atmosphere of a company trip. It was a happy father and son, no matter how you look at it. At this moment, I knew what was going on. Simon had cheated on me, betraying us, and had an illegitimate child. Something snapped in my head. So that's what it was. Then, I have an idea. I approached them as they were moving away and spoke to them from behind in a deliberately cheerful voice. Sounds like a fun company trip. Simon turned around, apparently realizing it was my voice, and his face turned pale.
Nadia? Why are you here?
A woman and a boy approached me while I was silently staring at Simon. Simon? Is this... What do you mean by company trip? Hey, Dad, are these your friends? Simon turned even paler and clammed up. By the looks of it, they don't know he has another family. Not wanting to cause trouble in front of the little boy, I gave my contact information to the woman, with whom he was having an affair with. I whispered in her ear, "I am his wife. I'm going to walk away today, so please make sure you call me back." The woman's eyes widened as she looked at Simon and me, and then she nodded with a pale face. I went home early with Tiffany and waited for my husband to get home. Simon came home late at night. I asked him in a low voice, "Now shall I ask you to tell me everything that happened today?" Then Simon started blurting out a story as if he had given up on the idea. About 4 years ago, he registered on a matching app, lied about being single. Then he met Diana, with whom he was having an affair. A short time after they started dating, Diana became pregnant and wanted to have the baby. He took advantage of the fact that Diana was estranged from her parents. He lied to Diana that he could not marry her because he had debts. He started to live a double life as he was married to her. When I found out everything, I was so shocked that I couldn't speak for a while. "How could you betray us? How will you pay for this?" I glared at him and he shuddered and apologized.
"Oh, that woman is just a game. I only love you and Tiffany. I'm going to settle up the relationship. Just give me some time."
Simon looked at me for a while and I muttered to myself, "Well, okay."
"You forgive me? Thank you, Nadia."
Simon's eyes lit up and I smiled at him. "Yes, why don't you go take a bath for now?"
"Okay, I will. Nadia, thank you so much."
Simon heads for the bathroom. I watched him and made a phone call. Eventually, my husband came out of the bath in a good mood and his face turned pale again. He was pale again because he saw me and Diana, the woman he was having an affair with, standing side by side at the same time.
"Diana, what are you doing here? Nadia, what in the world is going on?"
I replied with a smirk. "Before you came back, I got a call from Diana. She wanted the three of us to have a discussion." Here's what Diana and I had discussed beforehand. She was shocked to find out that Simon had a family. Although it was her fault for even having a child, she didn't know how to apologize. Simon says he wants to divorce me and be with her, but she's going to step aside. She wanted to make amends from now on. As Diana tearfully pleaded, I thought to myself, she's also a victim of Simon's deception. So together we came up with a plan to give Simon a good beating. "Simon, I just heard from your wife that you told her you were only staying with me for fun. That's the opposite of what you said to me." Diana questioned him, but he just shrugged and moped. I sighed heavily. He was just going to say whatever was convenient for both of us anyway. And you were just going to keep the relationship going. I know all about it.
"Well, that's..."
"Why don't you say something?" I yelled at him, and Simon answered in a voice that sounded as if he was about to cry.
"Because I really love you both. I don't want to let go of either of you."
Huh, what a convenient thing to say. Simon's body trembled.
"Can't we just stay in our current relationship? We can all live together, you know? Then everyone would be happy, right?"
I was too dumbfounded to say anything, but Diana started talking. "Simon, I asked your wife where you really work. AB Systems, you said? You've been lying to me about it all along, haven't you?"
Diana, that's..."
Simon was about to make an excuse, but she stopped him right away. "You know Pine Industries, right?"
That's one of our major clients. But what does that have to do with anything right now?"
Simon looked puzzled, but Diana continued indifferently. "I knew it. AB Systems is the company name my father told me about."
"Your father?"
"Yeah, when I said I'm estranged from my parents, and I did mean it, they love me too much and they're overprotective, so I ran away from them. My father is the president of Pine Industries."
"What? President?"
I just called him for the first time in years. I told him that a married man named Simon Brown from AB Systems had tricked me into having a baby. He was furious.
"Huh?"
Simon was getting paler and paler, and he suddenly started to panic. But Diana continued without hesitation. My father told Whitmore Builders what happened, and they're going to stop doing business with AB Systems. By the end of the week, your company will be in an uproar.
Hey, if that happens, I'll lose my job.
I don't give a damn about that. I'm leaving you, but I'm still going to get my child support payments, so get ready. Diana yelled at Simon, startling him.
What? Diana, are you breaking up with me?
What's the matter with you now? You tricked me into having an affair with you. There's no way I'm going to continue our relationship. Don't you dare make fun of me. Diana silenced him, and Simon turned to me.
Nadia, Diana's side has been cleared up, so Tiffany and us can go back to our original happy family. That's better, isn't it?
Simon was coming closer and closer to me, but I shoved him away as hard as I could. You've got to be kidding me.
Nadia!
I'm divorcing a man like you. I'm getting custody. I'm demanding alimony and child support too, so make sure you pay up.
Hey, you're leaving me too?
Simon's eyes widened, but I glared at him and yelled, You keep betraying me and Tiffany and even using Diana. I don't ever want to see your scum face again. Pay what you owe and get the hell out of here. Diana and I looked down at Simon with our arms crossed. I made him get out of the house after he had gotten completely weak. After that, my divorce from Simon was finalized. He cried that he couldn't pay me alimony. I threatened to take him to court, and he immediately transferred the money to me. He said he would pay child support monthly from now on. Diana's father hired a lawyer, and Simon paid alimony to her as well. That and child support payments for their child. Diana's father got around to it, and Simon was fired from his job. Simon was in debt to pay me and Diana. He's now living in a shabby apartment working day and night. He's asked me to reduce the amount of child support each of us is paying, but neither Diana nor I are willing to compromise in any way. I hope he can live with his sins from now on. After that, Tiffany and I moved into a new house, and we are living a peaceful life. Tiffany seems to be okay with her father being gone. She says she would rather be with her mom. Diana has gone back to her parents to raise her kid. We don't see each other, but we email each other once in a while. I'm going to put my daughter's happiness first and try to lead a brighter life.